afternoon. My name is Wendy Lieber, and I am here with the founder of Lamad Academy, Reverend Alfred Cockfield, and also the principal, Frederick Underwood. And today we're going to focus on what you need to know now that's new at Lamad Academy. So welcome, Alfred and Frederick.
Hey, Wendy. Pleasure, as always, to see you.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So I'm so excited to hear what's been going on. I know last time we talked, you guys were going to be launching the summer programs, and now we're a few weeks into those. Tell us how those are going and what's been happening.
Oh, it's been fantastic. It's actually been fabulous. I am so excited about our first cohort that just finished last Thursday. Parents are so thrilled and overjoyed about the interaction. One parent, I mean, she was so moved. So her child is very particular, but after the first day, the child was engaged, responsive, willing to do the work without her prepping him or pushing him. And she knew that we have what it takes to move her child, just based on that one day, which to me was incredible to be able to have that testimony. And I'm going to try to get her to meet with you as well, Wendy. But we've seen we have some great updates as we look forward. We're almost the end of July. And so we're like basically ready to start our fall semester for the 2021 school year.
That's so exciting. So obviously, we're in this environment where things are changing rapidly. It appears that, we're in maybe the second wave of COVID. How are you all adapting to that, knowing that things keep changing, and what are some things you want, parents to know about how you guys are dealing with all of this?
So let me start off with this. Things are changing daily. I said to the team that what CDC may say today, based on data, may change next week. And so we are preparing for the worst case scenario and willing to back the other way once we need to. And, I'm on the Governor Cuomo's faith-based advisory reopening. And Governor Cuomo has done a tremendous and fabulous job as for the state. As we can see across the country, over 40 states, numbers are still increasing. But he's done a great job to try to keep it down because he's been disciplined and adamant about making sure it doesn't go the other direction.
Yeah.
And so with that, we've committed as a school to make sure we can account for all 125 enrollees for the first school year and not do a staggered schedule. What does that mean? That means that we will still have school Monday to Friday for all 125 students. Where the city is talking about doing staggered schedules, some children come in 2 days, some come in 3 days, some come. We're not saying that. We're saying that from 7:30 to 5, as long as the brick and mortar is open, all of our students will be able to attend school every single day, Monday to Friday, from 7:30 to 5, Monday through Thursday, and then Friday from 7:30 to 3. So I think above everything else, we can say without a shadow of a doubt, we could accommodate all of our students socially distanced, whether it's 10 to 12 classrooms based on our ratio, 10 to 12 students in a classroom, with social distancing, and be able to give them the instruction they need and the holistically approach for each child, which we're monitoring. We're doing our diagnosis right now in the Summer Bridge program, that they can each get the instruction that they need.
That's great. That's got to be a big, I would think, relief for most parents, but I imagine there also might be some concerns, and parents don't want to obviously put their children in any kind of environment that could be harm's way. How are you all addressing making sure parents feel comfortable about being able to send their kids and not have a staggered schedule?
Well, I will touch on it and I'll let Fred finish up, but we've been talking about, we're looking at PPE on whether the state provides it or not. We're looking to put an allocation in our budget to accommodate all students with their masks and make sure we're strong about it and adamant about it, right? Safety is a big concern for parents. I'm a parent, Fred's a parent. We're concerned about our own children. So we're not going to think about our own, I think about anyone else's. And so we want to make sure we have everything, the precautions in place to make sure we protect children from the virus.
Great.
I also think that the social emotional component is also very important. So many of our
Huge.
students will have experienced some trauma during the pandemic. And so it's important that we implement and infuse into our curriculum social emotional learning as a significant part of the conversations that we're currently having with students in the Summer Bridge program. And we want to equip our students to meet their needs, no matter how nuanced those needs may be, so that they understand that we care about them on both sides, both academically as well as socially, that they're both healthy and that we're providing a nurturing environment for them.
Great, great. So I'm excited to hear about what's been happening with building out your team for the fall and what's, tell us about some of the students enrolling for the fall. Give us an update on what's happening there.
So what we've been seeing is some of the children that have enrolled in gifted and talented programs have heard about our instruction, what it's going to be like, the intense STEAM program, and are really excited about registering their children with Lamad Academy Charter School. In addition to Fred's point about social emotional, we have an excited, energetic social worker that we've hired that is ready to take on that piece of the team to make sure that we meet the child holistically. So that is one extremely important hire for Lamad Academy and the team to make sure that also, our APs are phenomenal. We've been having, being at our STEAM program, and we're looking to have our children approach regions from first year. Our hires have been very particular and intentional about being high school, and Fred can talk more about that because he has the instruction all down, more so than I do, but we are definitely moving in the right direction.
So Wendy, all of the staff that we hired so far are certified and highly qualified, but here's the one distinction as well, is that each of the staff members that have joined the Lamad family, they all have close ties to the community.
Yeah.
They're from the community. They either currently work in the community or previously worked in the community. And so that's what's particularly even more exciting, is that the team that we're putting together, they're from the community and that they are excited to again get to work. They can't wait for September to start so they can roll up their sleeves and welcome in our new scholars.
That's great. So many people talk about charter schools and say, charter schools are more nimble and more equipped to handle changes quicker than traditional public schools. Do you all agree with this? And if so, can you share some of the ways Lamad has been able to adapt and pivot quickly to, the changing environment that's out there?
I mean, so there. I don't really like to put the distinction. I just know that we have a little bit more autonomy, even though we have a lot more restrictions and accountability more than district schools do. We definitely we're held to a higher standard in terms of results, and we don't have 10 years to prove that. We have to prove that in year one. Right. And so that's the difference. And so we are intentional about hiring, and which most schools starting out probably wouldn't spend the amount of money they would to bring in a top leadership team. Every parent that I speak to, when they hear that I have a principal hired, 3 assistant principals, operations director, arts director I'm bringing in, social worker, for one grade, they thought that would be good for if you have a high school to have all that leadership. But I believe that we want to make sure that not only do we give the children the support, but we give the teachers the support that they need. And so we want to hold them accountable. We have to give them the tools and facilitate what they need in terms of professional development and to take them to the place where these children can soar.
And it's also helpful, Wendy, that we're a very small school. The fact that the model was originally designed to be a small school, a small community, to provide students with the comfort of being able to know that every adult in the building will know them. Not just know their name, but know them individually, personally. And so because of such, and because that we can make the statement today, as our executive director, Reverend House, has stated, that all of our students will be coming to school at the same time and leaving at the same time. we're comfortable to ensure that that can happen, still keeping it in place. The social distancing requirements is a testament to the small, intimate, loving community that we're building.
Absolutely. So I imagine when you all embarked on this journey, certainly for you, Reverend Al, because this has been going on a while, but you had no idea that you'd be launching this school during, a pandemic. What have been the blessings? What have you learned that you're actually just really grateful for?
Well, I'm grateful for a lot of things. I think it's one of the foundations, Walton Foundation, Walton Family Foundation. They reached out. We put out for a grant when we first got approved, which we were able to get, which we're able to have more than one AP the first year. It's because of the grant we got. But because of COVID and they knowing that we're opening a new school, they reached out and gave us another $20,000 to help with promotion and enrollment. So I'm extremely grateful to the blessings that are happening in the midst of the storm. Yeah. So we are resilient people. We are a state that's a resilient state. We've experienced tragedy and trauma. Hurricane Sandy, I worked personally in that time, and we had to get children. We're all over busing schools all over the city because of that. And so I've experienced it, know what it's like, but I have a team that's willing to put their hands in the gut and get it done. And we're concerned about children, as our principal talked about the social emotional piece. Some of them have not been able to grieve. They lost parents, lost grandparents, lost aunts and uncles. Yeah. And so we're concerned about all these different aspects of children, that they coming back to school, if they haven't had time to really socially be able to play over the summer or move around. And so we're considering all of that, keeping that in our peripheral and really focus on addressing all those situations. So I'm grateful that in everything, we still have an opportunity to help children.
Yeah.
And Winnie, the blessing in the storm as well is that we have to be intentional about ensuring that we open our doors and respond to equity. And so that was a part of the reason why we wanted to be in East Flatbush. But this has given us an opportunity to ensure. And so we take additional steps, ensuring that our parents have laptops, ensuring that they have access to the internet, and that when we open our doors, every child will be on equal footing as it relates to technology. And so sometimes we do have to look at the storm, and in the storm, we have to recognize that there's a rainbow that's coming. And in such, we're grateful for that opportunity to provide those types of technological advantages to our students.
Absolutely. What are some of the frequently asked questions that you're getting from parents that you'd like to make sure everyone knows about Lamad Academy?
One of the questions about transportation, which we will get, about children, IEPs, where we have the resources to facilitate the children, which is, I love the fact that parents are asking these questions. That means they're extremely engaged. We're getting those type of questions. We're getting questions about what is it going to look like. And so what I told them to do was let the child attend the summer bridge program. And then we can go from there in terms of, you'll know the type of interaction is happening with our staff versus the student, and see how comfortable. And we had, Thursday was our last day of the first cohort. And Fred and I was on with them, and these students, they were so thrilled. They had questions for us. They were engaged. They were excited. Some of them were sad that it was ending so quickly. And so we are definitely in a great place.
They want to know their uniforms and when we're going to we're finalizing those choices. And so who would think that they would be so excited to get those uniforms? Usually it's the other way around, but that just is a testament to how much they miss being in the building.
Yeah.
And how eager they are to get back in the building, to be amongst their classmates and their friends, and now the new staff that they have now become are getting to know.
That's great.
Right.
That's great.
The uniform that's attaching them to Lamad, and so they were excited about our commercial that's on TV. Some of the students starting to see the commercial on TV, and they're just blown away. They're excited.
That's great. So you have a second Bridge program coming up. Tell us a little bit more about what's happening the rest of the summer and how students can get involved in these programs.
So we had the second cohort started this morning. We have
Oh, right.
one more. It's going to start August 30th. So we encourage you parents who are on the fence or who do not have middle school that you really are happy about. We still have time to get into the third cohort. August 30th it begins. Great 8 days for them to really know where they are. And really what it does is diagnose each child to know what to tailor the instruction for each child. So each child learns differently in different places. And so we not have one size fit all. We want to tailor our instruction for each child, individual. And I think that's an awesome opportunity to be able to have that. So if you get your child registered now, we can get them in August 3rd for the third cohort.
Fantastic. Any additional parting words, final thoughts that you want our community to hear about?
I definitely want the community to know that we're here. We're not here for ourselves. We are community. The school is for us, by us. So we are from the community, as our principal eloquently talked about earlier, because I think there's a difference when you know it's people who are really from the community. Not taking away from anyone else or what they're doing, but we really believe our convictions make us do this. Right? This is what drives us to do this work. It's because we're from this community. We know what can come from it, and so we definitely there's a verse in a good book that I always read. It said, "Can any good thing come out of Nazareth?" And so we're saying, "If any good thing can come out of East Flatbush, Brownsville, East New York, Crown Heights, Central Brooklyn, yes." And Lamad is the vehicle that can take you where you need to go.
Absolutely.
Agree. All right. I think that's the perfect place to close. Principal Underwood, Reverend Al, thank you so much for sharing this latest segment. And for those of you that are interested in learning more, we'll have all the contact information, and you can go to the website, you can call and get everything you need answered. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you, Wendy.